so good to see you. It is week 11 or 10. I don't even know. I don't remember. But what a massive week. And it's Wednesday, right? Far out.
Day. I want to start off by saying congrats to you, Bart. Like, the Oz bargain, that whole thread is insane. I know, we've all been getting the pings, but
we are.
I can't
blew up
anything out. But wow,
we blew up the internet by accident in the last 48 hours. Can I just say, and great that we got lots of really cool comments, but there's two ways of doing this type of spike activity to a website. There is the fake stuff where you ask a mate and go, hey, can you go and write a review on us? Like, that wasn't it. I literally didn't even have a clue what Oz Bargains was all about. And seriously, I was talking to this guy and we were talking for maybe about 40 minutes about coffee and what he liked and whatever. And then all of a sudden I see our traffic from literally 10 people on the site to 400, 500 in the space of I was online till 3 a.m. in the morning chatting with people about coffee and then managing that forum and then whatever. But we obviously we're always paying it forward, which means we really want to be clear that we're not making any money on this. We're just trying to make everyone smile during COVID, and the deal was, all about, trying to get people to recognize mental health and obviously give away some really cool stuff. So that was exciting, and so I backed it up. So we did an AeroPress offer, and then I've backed it up today with a V60 black Barty offer, which I brewed this morning, and it was rockstar. I did have a donut. Sorry, Nathaniel.
Yeah, you see you dressed for the occasion, the black Barty outfit. Yeah. You're
black Barty kit all the way.
Well, it was funny on that Monday because Monday nights are normally really quiet in my house, but it was literally so chaotic because my mum was trying to, because they fly out on Monday night, so she was trying to weigh her luggage, realised that the luggage scale was on pounds, so she went from being, I'm way over, to being, oh no, this is good. So she was walking around saying pounds in disbelief. Then my dad was in another room starting to pack, and he was telling my sister, back in the day you could take bombs and knives on planes, and then I had my phone meeting with Bart. I was like, my family is nuts. I was like, everything's happening. I was like, this Monday is normally my quietest night of the week, and
I was up till seriously 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning, and then Nathaniel came around because we've got to prep for our first shoot for the cupping on Friday or Thursday. So we've just been. He can talk about that, but far out. Thank you so much for supporting the chat, because it has not stopped. But that's good, right? That's what we want to do. We're not all about giving free shit away. We're all about trying to raise awareness to mental health, and I know that that's really making me feel really good that it's not about coffee. It's all about what you do with that coffee, all that stuff. So. Yeah, Nathaniel, I'm going to get you to start first. What have you got going on?
You've got props again.
Yeah, no, it's been super busy. Bart just mentioned, we're setting up for our first cupping session that will turn hopefully into a series, and we've arranged some of the best coffees out there on Australia's market right now, based on what's in season right now, and we wanted to put them all on the table by region or similar varietals, and just really get to know what they're good for our customers, people who are intrigued and buying good coffee. We want to really make a guide to them. And
so Nathaniel, to that point, I guess what we've noticed speaking to a whole bunch of customers is, obviously everyone's stuck at home. They don't know what to do. And so the first thing they look at is, what equipment do I need, rather than how do I like my coffee? Meaning,
Yeah.
we know in the specialty game that, you know, there's certain coffees and certain coffees are roasted a particular way for a certain application. So you can't just walk up to or go online and go, right, I'm going to buy myself an espresso machine and then buy a filter coffee. That's never going to make you a good coffee, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So we want to really find what works well with what. And so we've gone, like today, I was like zooming around Sydney picking up stock for this shoot and got some right here. This was just doing a little taste test. My sister just brewed some and she's TDSing, for example. Sneak peek.
Nice.
Cut this
Have you still got my TDS machine? Is that right?
Yeah, I've got
gotcha.
it. Yeah,
That's
then,
where it went.
So there's a Mecca, a Colombian from Mecca, a Colombian from Stitch. There's a geisha mix, and then another little sneak peek.
Oh yeah.
This guy's going to be really, really interesting. So we'll get into that in the other shoot. But yeah, it's tasting really good right now. The Mecca one.
Yeah.
But just organizing the cupping space this week at the Barty headquarters, in the kitchen, right where Bart is. Getting used to that flow, because you need like a very specific type of cup and standard across the industry. It's almost like it's a standardized tool, the cupping procedure. So it was like really getting familiar with the space so it goes smoothly on Thursday. So it's been super busy, and then also just sort of working out the flow of how we're going to make it work with people coming in and being COVID safe, all that jazz.
And there's one more thing you've forgotten. So essentially, you know, we'll discuss the premise of the cupping show on the cupping show, but essentially I mean, when it comes to Nathaniel's heritage and background, he's done lots and lots of different coffee tasting and what have you. This is not to throw shade on everyone else's coffee. It's really just an educational piece around here's what's out there seasonally. Here's how to pair it with different stuff. And you know, if anyone has questions, we'll have that. And so essentially, we'll be cupping on a weekly basis 6 to 12 different coffees, and not comparing them, more so talking to how to drink them, use them, and being up obviously the farm and the company. So I'm really excited to start a whole brand new forum about, you know, coffee, like we're doing the same thing about mental health.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a busy week and it's still going. Tomorrow it's going to be hectic. It's going to be so much fun.
And you Erin, how's it going?
Busy, I guess. I feel like my parents fly out next Monday, so it's my mum's last day of work today. That's going to be interesting when she gets home. It's well. I mean, it's Perth. We're out of lockdown. We are, you know, we're living our life. But it is Mental Health Month. So I have sent both Nathaniel and Bart some goodies. I did some baking on Monday.
Nice.
So I actually shared it on my Instagram stories and you reacted. I was like, I think you know those biscuits are going to you. I'm sending you guys some salted caramel cookies, which I made on an earlier vlog, which are really good. And then
they are
also a few other little things that I'm like, so it cost me a bit of money to ship, and the post office, like, I go to the post office I think every 3 weeks or something at the moment, and it's like sending more stuff to Sydney. I'm like, lockdown's never going to end. They need stuff to keep them going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys are going to get some boxes of goodies from WA. Hopefully Australia Post has updated their tracking, so tomorrow.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yes. I have been, on the Barty side of stuff, I have been researching antidepressants, which has been really interesting.
Tell me the homework isn't take some antidepressants for the week.
No. The homework will be do some mindful colouring in or something.
Okay.
I sent you a colouring in book because one of my friends, funnily enough, loves colouring in, and she's like, it's the best therapeutic thing, and I'm going, it makes me stressed.
Yeah.
You know, I figure like colouring in is relaxing, it's not technology based. So and also there's a few other fun goodies as well.
Nice.
And No, it's not take antidepressants. But speaking of antidepressants, I was researching them because, this is a funny story, but a few years ago I realised that I'd been on them and I was like, I actually don't know what they do.
Right.
I was like, I don't know what med I'm on, how they react in my brain. I just know that I take them and that they make me feel better.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So, and I realised that there's so many antidepressants out there. And when you chat to different doctors and psychiatrists, they all have their go-to.
Yeah.
They all have like their general, let's prescribe anyone. So the ones I take are very common.
Yeah.
They're called sertraline or Zoloft. That is their normal number. They look like normal tablets. I don't know.
Can I slow you down? So let's just. I'm not sure anyone out there knows about the process that it takes to get on them, who to speak to, and who to prescribe. Like, okay, so let's just start from the beginning. And like, give me the short answer to this. But like, how do you know you need antidepressants? Like, where does it start?
Well, it depends. In my experience was, because I was under 18 at the time. I went to a GP who's now my current GP, and because I was underage, he had to refer me to a psychiatrist. But prior to actually needing medication, I'd gone to see a psychologist for a period of time, and that had not worked. And there's a lot of controversy with antidepressants in that a lot of doctors will just give them out as band-aids. We're not actually focusing on the real problem. So it depends on the doctor you see. So I saw a child psychiatrist who then put me on these.
So you have to get medically. You have to go and see a professional.
Yeah, you have to see a professional. You cannot buy these over the counter.
Right.
These are prescribed.
Right. So you go and see a professional, and you go, "Hey, I got some funk. What do I do?" And they're like, "Okay, go and take this for a while."
Yeah, it really depends, and they vary in dosages as well. You're under 18, they will refer you to a psychiatrist because GPs by law cannot prescribe or diagnose anyone under 18. If you're an adult, it really depends. They'll look at different factors, like maybe you've changed a new job, try and a good GP, and I say there's always different GPs out there. Should have a holistic approach and should look at everything that's going on. And a lot of the time, antidepressants, people only are on them for less than a year. Like, it really depends. There are sometimes, like, you might be in a really stressful situation. Right. And you'll be on them for a year and then you'll taper off and you'll be fine. For other people, like myself, you'll be on them for a long term. And it's just like, well, you know.
Because essentially it stabilizes your, whether it's hormone or other stuff that's going on.
It stabilizes the neurotransmitters in your brain. That's what it does. And people still, and the thing is that, like with paracetamol, doctors don't know exactly how it works on a molecular level. They don't know how antidepressants work on a molecular level. So there's a lot of trial and error. So next week's post I'm looking at, is there a chance that there'll be a genetic test that'll be able to tell you exactly what antidepressant you will need and the exact dosage in the next 10 years or so.
Yeah, right. So hang on. So what's really fascinating to me is obviously you've got a chemical imbalance, and to be able to find that chemical imbalance, you're essentially going through you're putting so much shit in your body to work out which one works or not, and they start you off on a basic or whatever that they think works, and then you then get asked to go back to tell the GP the psych how well they're going, and they'll just put you on another one if it's not working, which means like you, I mean, I've never taken them, but like from your experience, some meds get you get you a little bit off kilter, and so you don't know why that is. That really sucks.
Yeah, and also the side effects. Like, there are some side effects that are really bad, and with the most common ones, there's side effects will be gone within 2 weeks, but there are other ones where it's like side effects that'll be long term.
Yeah, right.
So you're looking at the pros and cons long term.
Yeah, right.
And I think so there's 5 different types of antidepressants.
Is there?
The most common one are called, and I've got notes because I'm going to forget these names, believe me.
Go for it.
I've got, is called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So these is the most common one. These are the ones that have the least amount of side effects. So they're also called SSRIs for short. That's if you go see your doctor, they're most likely to put you on one of these.
So hang on, so there's a generic one and there's one that everyone gets started on, and essentially go and see if that works or not and come back and tell us what.
Yeah, and there's different types of SSRIs. So one SSRI might not work for you, but another one will. Right. And they do the same thing, but it's just how it works with your brain chemistry.
So then so when one works really well, and so I know that there's a handful that you wanted to mention, I'm sure you've written that in the article, but if one works for you, what does that feel like?
Do you feel like you can function again? I honestly say that if I wasn't on these medication, I would not be standing. I would be literally the classic anxiety, stereotypical person crying, scared of leaving the house sort of thing, because you know what will happen. And the thing with SSRIs, they shouldn't make you numb. They should just take away all the irrational depression or anxiety. You're still going to get anxiety. You're still going to get depression, but you're going to be able to function.
That's so cool.
Which is,
and so in your experience, how long has it taken for you to work out which one's working or not?
I was fortunate in that the first one I tried worked, but I've since had the dosage increase a bit over the years. And again, I've been chatting to my doctor. My doctor suggested I increase it end of last year, and I refused. I was like, no. And then he's like, okay, well, we have to think about it. Give it a few months. And then we increased it, and I kind of could tell within about a week that the dosage increase, which was what I needed.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. Cool.
Yeah, and something that they do look at is, like, if you've got any family members who are on antidepressants, because they're more likely to work on you because of the genetic component. So they ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, gotcha. You know. And so yeah, cool. Antidepressants, hey, wow, that's really interesting. I mean, they've always been kind of like, well, someone's on antidepressants, they're going through shit, you better be, gentle with them. But it doesn't really work like that, does it?
No, and that's the thing. They so the earliest statistics I could find, or the most recent statistics I could find, was saying that 1 in 8 Australians are on antidepressants, but they didn't take into. This is in 2018, so I actually would be more recent research done, because COVID probably bumped up people. Yeah, but also antidepressants aren't used just for like mental health. Like, they could be used for Parkinson's and a few other neurological conditions. So when they say 1 in 8, I was like, but does that include the people who have Parkinson's who take it, or other neurological?
And I think, again, a super taboo subject, mental health, taking antidepressants, that no one really talks about it,
Yeah, this is probably the most insightful thing I've heard. Even my best friend, I know he takes them, but we've never had a conversation about it, and he didn't really want to. And it's like, okay, but I guess I'll have to find out when I get to that in my life. But this is the first conversation.
Yeah, Nathaniel. I mean, I've never taken them, but I know a few people that do take them, and I did ask them the hard questions once upon a time, and I got to the bottom of the story, me being a bit of an idiot, going, what are you going through? And it's less about what are you going through, more around your genetic makeup, around stabilizing moods, so that you're not constantly on a really high or really low. And it's just a body thing. It's not like, and so the thing is, what's really cool about it is that if you are a little bit off kilter and you don't know what it is, then there are meds specifically made so that they stabilize, so that you're not, really high and then really low. So it keeps you in a bit of a level, and that's a really cool piece of science. But I really like what you said, that medicine's moving so much further around the fact that, that we'll be able to get a blood test and then they'll be able to connect the right meds for you, versus asking a whole bunch of questions that you could potentially lie about, or the doctor being off, all that crap, Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that blood tests existed for a mental health medication until a few weeks ago. My doctor was like, I'm going to send you off to get a genetic blood test to see how quickly you metabolize medications. And I was like, okay. So I'll get the results tomorrow. And then from there, we can work out how my body's functioning more.
Yeah.
And I was chatting to a professional, and she was saying that she recommends that all her clients, our patients now get one of these blood tests because it gives them further information so they can further match up the correct antidepressant to the patient.
Yeah, right.
Even though they're out of pocket, but
And another thing, I mean, no one really considers, as you move through your ages, meaning I'm an old cat now in my 40s, like my mental health was very different when I was a kid at 17 to, you know, when I was 20, 30, and now 40, you know, like your body changes, which means, you know, staying on the same meds is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, and I mean, often when women hit menopause, they find that they need antidepressants as well. So that's something to factor in, which is really so, you know, if there's all these life changes and, you know, you might have kids, that'll then off kilter with your hormones. So people often find that they don't have mental health issues until then they have postpartum depression and stuff. So there's a lot of factors to consider, which is really interesting. So you do need to make sure you've got a good GP or a good psychiatrist that you can confide in and say, look, you know, I think my meds need to be adjusted, you know, this med isn't quite working for me. So there's a lot out there. And then you've also got the temporary ones that can help with, like, when you've got panic attacks or you're just going through a really high stressful period. Which so you've got like Xanax and Valium are the two main ones that a lot of people know, which you can take, that are muscle relaxers, but they also relax your brain and just switch it off a bit. Which, you know, they're not designed to be long term, they're designed to be used a couple of times sort of thing. But you know, that's something else to consider. And
so I know that just to wrap up on the antidepressants piece, so yeah, I mean, that's an awesome article. It's live now. I had a good read of it. I think, you know, really, really insightful. What's next in terms of just connecting the dots?
So I'm looking at the genetic testing side. So there's a lot of controversy about genetic tests for mental illness, whether, like, you know, how we can get the genetic test for cancer genes and whatnot, whether it's worth actually looking into, are you predisposed to having a mental illness?
Cool.
So, and which is having a lot of controversy, actually. Like, I was reading a journal article and it was like, yeah, people are saying, look, they did studies and, you know, obviously it's not 100% accurate, but it kind of was like, it's going to give people additional anxiety.
Yeah, nice, cool.
So that's going to be interesting. Looking into, you know, one day we can get a blood test that'll tell us exactly what we need.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
nice. I'm looking forward to that. So obviously you're doing a lot of research on that, which is epic.
In the middle of the research at the moment. I think I've got 3 journal articles I have to read after this.
Nice. But I know that you're enjoying it, so yeah, awesome.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to. I have to have another tab open to Google different terms, though.
Maybe you need to drink more Peruvian coffee.
Yeah, maybe I do. Well, I did have some yesterday, and that kept me through the afternoon.
Nice.
So that was good.
So Nathaniel, what up? What do you want to get into any more stuff or?
No, I've been noticing a lot of people asking. This is segueing a bit, but like a lot of people are asking, "Hey, what's the best setup to start brewing coffee on?" A lot more like newcomers into specialty coffee, like asking, "Hey, what's a good starting point?" And just like knowing 1 or 2 sort of buzzwords in the industry, like in terms of gear, like Erin, should I get the AeroPress or a V60 sort of a question. And I feel like that's the next piece that I'm planning on writing. But yeah, it's honestly, it has a lot. Just to like start off with, like a very easy way to branch it out into 2 decisions is if you drink your coffee with or without milk. Because that's usually the first question I ask. It's like, hey, do you drink with black or with milk? Sometimes I'll say with both, and it's like, okay, you need something in between. But it's just been really cool seeing all these people come to the Barty chat and ask that question and getting like that question first. So it's sort of like, it's becoming almost like a script, and it's something that I want to like start to address with our people.
And the top secret thing that we're going to release anyway, we've been cooking it up for the last week, is doing V60 and AeroPress master classes. If you want to, I think a bit of an entertainment piece for, you know, you and your wife, if you want to join, or if you want to get your V60 game we'll be running books. You'll be able to book into our calendar V60 masterclasses and AeroPress masterclasses. So we'd be joining on a real live virtual chat, and we'll be showing you how to brew a proper
so that will lead into that. So instead of just doing the Barty chat, you'll get a lesson with I'm not sure how many slots we're going to open up, because it might be a bit hectic with like 20 different screens and everyone asking questions. It might be a bit lower than that, maybe like 10 or under, or 5 or so. But we'll start off with those group sessions probably on Fridays in the lab, and we'll be there like answering questions. So you can book in and just drop in any time within that hour. But starting off with V60s and AeroPresses, because they're a bit easier to manage than like trying to dial in 10 people's espresso machines. That might take a bit longer.
And you know what a lot of chat that I've had going on this week, and it's been all about grinders. You know, no one really tells you about the type of coffee you need to select for the way you like to drink coffee versus the kit you need to buy. So there's a lot of that happening, and part of the kit piece, no one really tells you that you really need to invest in a really good grinder. Like just to the point of, you know, my coffee journey. I mean, I've got an EK. That's like a $6,000 grinder, and then I've got a niche, which is probably about a $3,000 or $4,000 grinder as well. So I mean, you know, that whole setup's cost me like, you know, close to $10,000 in just grinders themselves. You know, so grinders are really, really important to be able to allow you to dial in a coffee, to be able to, just dial in a coffee that is going to work to your palate versus, you know, some of the grinders that are out in the market. Like, you know, if you're getting yourself into coffee, like specialty coffee, like, you know, spending around $60 to $100 is probably the right start. And then, you know, going in like hand grinders, and then going into, and what we've got on the store, we've hand-picked all the grinders that are really, really good for, you know, your budget. But no one really tells you about, you know, it's really important that you get a really good grinder.
Yeah, and I feel like that's going to be one of the most common questions, or one of the biggest sort of, not difficulty, or challenges that we'll face on this masterclass, is everyone's going to have a different grinder, and some of them might be like absolutely terrible. They might be like those blade grinders in the mill.
And so like, part of that is part of the service of buying coffee from us, and so we'll grind the coffee for you specifically to that application. So we have dialed in a specific coffee that we sell in our store, and we can grind it for an AeroPress so that it gets, you know, that perfect dial-in coffee. So that's really cool as well.
Yeah, but ideally have your own grinder at home and buy some off our store, because you want it freshly ground.
And any articles that you got in the pipe, Nathaniel?
Well, yeah, like I said, I wanted to do an intro to coffee one coming up, but otherwise I have some that I'll post tomorrow.
Cool.
It's about cafes and what makes a good quote-unquote cafe. And it talks about, it's an opinion editorial sort of on like community, and it's more than like about the coffee. I skip over the coffee and say, hey, this is actually about the social impact, and like it goes on to a little bit about gentrification and how specialty coffee is one of the, like why it's one of the sort of stereotypes of like the gentrifying businesses of the neighborhood. Like when a specialty cafe opens up, the neighborhood's now ruined, you know. Like then come the bars and the hairdressers, and you know. So I wanted to like talk about that, because it's a common stereotype, and like why it is one, and then like how a cafe can actually help the community on the retail and consumer level.
Yeah, cool, nice. What have I got on my plate? just been dealing with people's chats and orders and stuff. So we're working really, really hard to fulfill those orders, and yeah, we're going to get slammed like in the next week to be able to fulfill like somewhat 500 orders. So which is really cool, really positive, because that money, I guess, is going to go into supporting us and supporting the business and supporting Reach Out. Or most of the proceeds go to Reach Out, and we've started Equalize as a business, which means all of the minis that everyone's buying are going straight to charity, and then all of the other stuff will help, you know, continue running us, which is really, really cool. Nathaniel started full time with us to be able to support, you know, the load on the pick and pack, but then also running the show, which is really, really cool. So that's really, really exciting. Which will, stay tuned to the cupping show, which I'm really excited about. And just the other thing I wanted to call out is, don't fret. We have your order. One of the issues is currently with COVID and lockdown, a standard express overnight post delivery is taking 5 days. So I just know that the courier is getting slammed like across the board. So if you are buying stuff, you know, be patient. Stuff will get to you. Essentially, it leaves our warehouse here at the roastery, and it will take 5 to 7 days to get to you, if not earlier. So be patient. We are not thinking about you, and if you have any questions, jump onto the chat, and we'll support anyone through it. And I'm giving away a lot of cans. So if you do want to have a chat and you want to get some free stuff, come and talk to me, and I'm happy to give out some cans.
I think we're going to have to clone you. Is that it? We need another Barty, honestly.
I don't know whether we need another Barty in the world. I can tell you that now.
Oh, no, it's crazy. I'm just watching from WA going, if I was over there, I'd help, but I'm distancing myself, and I'm just working away. But it is Mental Health Month, so it is great that we can support Reach Out. And next Thursday is Are You OK Day as well.
Absolutely.
So there will be a special article out.
Yeah, nice. So just to that, I'll just round that out for you, and then we'll continue talking about it. I've uploaded the latest challenge. So if you go to our website, there's a challenge piece. So in the last couple of months, if you want some free coffee and you're new to the specialty game, I'm happy to send you out a weekly subscription for the first 4 weeks to support your challenge. And that is, you can either run, walk, or cycle, and to crush a BP, and then we'll support you and we'll send you some coffee. I've added one more on there, which is you can have a challenge and ask a mate to support, and we will give you and your mate free coffee to support you through Mental Health Month, which is really, really cool. Oh yeah, one more thing. I'm actually invited to a business we work with, I've worked with in the past, and they're getting me up to have a bit of a chat with them virtually around dialing in one of our instants. So you know how we do these guys? I'm going to talk to group of maybe 20 people around Barty. Obviously we're supporting mental health and bringing awareness to mental health, and the fact that dialing in a coffee as a ritual on a daily basis will help you with your mental health. So I'm doing that tomorrow, I think, or Thursday. So go and hang out with those guys, which I'm really excited about. And if anyone's looking for some cool stuff to do while in lockdown, reach out to us and we'll be able to run you through a bit of a mental health session. Yeah, so that's it.
Oh, yeah, totally. Reach out to me. I'm always happy to chat. And I had a good chat on Monday night with someone, so that was awesome. But I would love to get some more mental health chats
nice.
happening. I think we always forget that every month should be Mental Health Month. And I know with Are You OK Day, they're trying to say you should ask, are you okay every day?
Yeah.
It's good. But just just really, I think lockdown getting extended again in Sydney. I mean, your cases are slowly lowering, I have noticed. So
yeah, from 1,000.
It's over 1,000. I'm just watching and I'm nope.
Yeah.
Well, WA's now got the grand final, this AFL grand final, which is scary. Melbourne's salty about that.
Nobody's watching, so it doesn't matter.
So I can't believe believe you've got the grand final. I was like,
yeah, no one's going to watch it. That's okay.
yeah, no one's going to watch it. I'm not, I don't follow football at all, so,
Oh, you're not a Dockers fan? Oh.
I'm one of 3 daughters. My dad doesn't watch sport.
Yeah,
so
right. Okay, we'll have to change that then.
Final. That's the one thing I watch.
And Nathaniel, do you have a footy team? No.
Hell no, I don't watch AFL at all.
Oh, mate, it's like the best sport in the world.
Sorry?
It's the best sport in the world.
If anyone wants to chat about NBA, I'm here for it.
What NBA?
I'm from Minnesota, so it's a bit hard to be a Timberwolves fan right now. But I also grew up in the Bay Area too, so Golden State Warriors.
Oh, nice.
Jeff Curry, baby. Smash Brothers.
Do you try and watch the Australian Basketball League, though?
Oh, come on, it's crap. Sorry, really. I might get hurt.
No. I've gone to a wild, because we're at the Perth Wildcats, so I've gone to one of their games and I enjoyed watching it.
Nice.
So
the Olympics were really fun to watch.
They were.
The basketball was really competitive, and the
it was full on.
It was like an emotional journey for the whole country. The Boomers.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
All right, guys, gonna close this out. Got to get back on the chat because we got to serve some people. And see you guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you real soon. Peace out.
See ya.
Bye.
Walking on fire, trying not to bend my feet. I'm tired of fighting, saying things we don't mean. You know I don't like it when you're packing your bag and turning your back, calling me a liar, calling me a liar. Trying not to let my feelings get to me. Sometimes I can't let them go. So now I got these voices. Now I got these voices in my head, baby. I can focus.